And
Austin.
we are now live.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Undercard Supercast for September 30th, 2014. I am your host, founder, editor, and keeper of unkempt chin spinach of Undercard Superstar, Luke Irwin. Joining me tonight, his favorite book is to transcribe lyrics for the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, Ben Cohn. Leading the manhunt for time-traveling assassin Harry S. Truman, Earl Montclair. Recently returning back to Texas from his trip to Liberia, Josh Hall. Aspiring queen of Sealand and firm believer that John F. Kennedy did not, in fact, murder Robert F. Kennedy, Naomi Komornick. Known in the squared circle as the Rabid Vole, Nolan Howell. And lastly, potential Pirates cannon fodder Dodger fan, Taylor Engel. Dateline, a rusted-out stolen golf cart where Josh Hall watches all the important fights from. After a weekend of pugilism that wasn't without controversy, who takes home your golden stool? And on the other side of the frighteningly similar coin, whose stool is a little softer and takes home the odious, despised golden poop? Ben?
The golden stool. I'm gonna give it to Chris Cariaso. He basically made the worst of a bad situation. He was gonna lose. Everyone knew it. As a knockout power specialist, he really had nothing that he could endanger Demetrius Johnson with. He lost every second of that fight and was dominated the entire time, which was expected, but at least, like, if you can exceed the expectations even a little bit, you come out looking relatively decent. He came out of that with nothing to show for it. He got paid, I believe, $24,000 to show. Probably got a bonus in the back, but not enough to make that absolute shit kicking worth it. He's never going to get a title shot again. He screwed himself into paid for the most part. He's stuck. He's stuck now as the top 10, as maybe the gatekeeper to flyweight, which is really nothing crazy. Golden poop. That was the golden poop. Sorry.
It makes a little more sense now.
That was the golden poop. The stool and poop confused me. Dominic Cruz gets my golden stool. 3-year layoff, multiple injuries, lost 3 years of his prime. He would have to give up his championship. Was never considered a finisher. Everyone doubted him. People were actually picking Mizugaki to beat him. He comes out in a minute and 1 second, beats the ever-loving shit out of someone who the only person to ever finish him by strike was a prime Faber. It doesn't get any better than that. He's back. He's getting a title shot, and everyone is excited to see it. And people think he can beat Dillashaw. I'm super excited for that fight. I'm so happy that Cruz came back like that. Fucking awesome.
Earl?
My golden stool goes to Alpha Cat Zingano, of course, because not only, did she make my prediction perfectly correct, but she came back after probably one of the toughest years anyone's faced in combat sports outside of the cage to come back, survive like a very scary first round from Amanda Nunes, and then come back and really beat the hell out of her in the third round and take the fight, third round TKO. So now she's got the fight with Rousey, and that's going to be awesome. Hopefully the 6-month suspension doesn't hold up and they can get it done faster than that. But I would say now the golden poop has to go to Ireland's UFC fans, because when a massive portion of the crowd leaves the arena after Conor McGregor's fight and does not stick around to watch Cerrone and Alvarez and probably the number 1 or 2 pound-for-pound fighter in the world do his work. You guys are awful, embarrassing fans, and if that's what Conor McGregor is bringing to the UFC, with any luck, they feed him 4 straight wrestlers sooner than later and get him the fuck out of the promotion.
Josh?
Golden stool. I'm going to have to give it to Conor McGregor. I mean, he did exactly what he said he was going to do. And Dustin Poirier is hittable, but he's not an easy guy to put down. And it never looked like at any point in that fight he was going to win that. McGregor handled him as easy as everybody else he's fought in the UFC. And he's there. If he's not getting a title shot in his next fight, he's only one more fight out. I think that he should probably be fighting the winner of Bermudez and Lamas, maybe, but it's going to be, he's very close. Golden Poop, Cody Gibson.
Yes.
He was just miles ahead, winning pretty much every second of his fight against Manny Gambarian, and then gets caught in a guillotine that doesn't look like it's that deep and taps with 4 seconds to go in a round. I'm pretty sure he wasn't going out there, and so he's really going to have a tough time swallowing that loss going down the road.
And it was to Manny Gambarian.
I picked Manny to win that fight because I'm an idiot, and then he did that. I feel even dumber somehow.
My golden stool goes to Brandon Halsey, even though it did deprive the world of a 5-round Alexander Shlemenko-Melvin Manhoef fight. Bellator looks like they have a real good young prospect on their hands. You know, even if he's just a tiny junior Weidman. He seems to be pretty good all over. He's undefeated, and he just beat a dude with 50 career wins in about 35 seconds and put him out cold. So, like I said, it robs me the chance of watching one of my favorite fighters fight Melvin Manhoef, but Halsey looks like a legitimate threat to the middleweight division and whatever promotion he chooses to be in for the foreseeable future. My golden poop goes to Amanda Nunes for losing her goddamn mind in the Zingano fight. Tatian are her fight IQ, Joe. That she was actually trying to put Kat Zingano's head through the canvas and then decides, hey, I'm going to fucking grab a foot like I'm Vitor Belfort in a bathtub and just try to do something with it of which I have no idea. It was. You know, I know I'm more liberal than most with 10-7 rounds, but I'll be damned. That first round, if she would have kept just landing Hiroshimas on Kat Zingano's forehead, that could have easily been a 10-7. Instead, Kat rallies, almost puts her away in the first, and then ends up doing exactly that later in the fight. It was just awful game planning. Just a really poor choice of it's a really bad judgment call and really awful fight IQ. Naomi?
So my golden stool is to McGregor because he's amazing and first round knockouts are always great. And the other one is golden poop. They're confusing this time. Also to Amanda Nunes because honestly, first round she was pretty good. She could have won, and I expected her to win because I don't like Kat. I just don't. So
I'm not playing people.
Yeah, Conor McGregor's a good dude, but Kat Zingano really irks me.
Not any real reason. I just don't.
Keep in mind, Naomi is a huge-ass Rousey fan.
I'm a huge Rousey fan, so fine. That's why I don't like her. Whatever. I expected.
Rousey even loves her.
Rousey loves Zingano.
Why are you yelling?
Who?
Did someone shoot Ben with a tranquilizer dart?
Ben, it was your turn to talk.
All right, Nolan.
Did she get to do her golden poop?
She
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Kat Zingano,
right,
world's most likable person.
Yeah, terrible performance by her. Golden stool. I'm gonna. My turn to talk. I'm going to go with Donald Cerrone. You know, looking back at Cerrone, you know, he's definitely come on and he's done his usual career trajectory thing where he loses a big fight and then he just climbs back up. And this was maybe a chance for him to fall back down. Alvarez is a good pressure fighter. His boxing did present some troubles, but Cerrone ate his shots and kept coming and you know, absolutely massacred his leg with leg kicks. So, you know, Cerrone's probably one fight, or I would be okay with him getting a title shot right now. My golden poop. We'll get into it a little later, but Big John McCarthy.
It's not his
Yeah.
responsibility. Before I start, it's not John McCarthy's responsibility. It's the officials outside the ring responsibility to clear the ring. So, not really his fault at all. Golden stool. Well, seeing as we have 24 people here, there's basically nobody left to give it to. So fuck it, because somebody was enough of an asshole to give her a golden poop. Let's give 2 golden stools to Kat Zingano for being a trademarked good egg. Long layoff after rough knee surgeries and everything, personal tragedy. Good on Kat Zingano. Went out there, lost the first round, and then in Kat Zingano fashion, stormed back and annihilated her. Not the best recipe for success against Rousey, and she's gonna have to fucking fix that shit up. But she looked really, really fucking good. She probably still won't beat Rousey, but she's easily the number 2 in the division.
She won't beat Rousey ever. End of story.
I just said that.
I agree with you.
So good for you, Kat Zingano. You're an angel. I love you. Golden poop. I almost want to give it to the people that deny that any of the punches that Conor McGregor threw her to the back of the head because they're stupid, but I'm not going to touch that. We'll just give it to Takeya Mizugaki. Dominic Cruz looked phenomenal coming back, but man, Mizugaki did absolutely nothing. He did not look good. You're supposed to be the grappler, and you can't defend a takedown from a guy that A, hasn't fought in 3 years, and has B, knees made out of, I believe, uncooked spaghetti. So, maybe work on some takedown defense. Maybe, back-to-back knockout losses to Cruz and Cisco. You're not looking good, bud. Go back to the drawing board.
It was tough. Dateline Las Vegas, Nevada. Staying at the MGM, the biggest story coming out of the weekend was about Yoel Romero's stool, although maybe not for reasons previously indicated therein. Romero stayed on his stool at the end of the first or second round.
Second round.
Second round. A good 25 to almost 30 seconds later than what he was allowed to. Tim Kennedy protested in ring. The fight was allowed to continue, with Romero eventually finishing via strikes. What do you think should have been the correct course of action there, and what do you think the right course of action should be now, Ben?
It's really interesting because people keep pointing out the fact that Kennedy's fingers were in the glove during the 2 shots that initially rocked him. But it's impossible to tell whether it's on purpose, so you can't say, oh, he deserved to get knocked out in karma. Bullshit. It's not karma. It was an accident, probably. Kennedy's never been known as a dirty fighter, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt with the glove grabbing. That being said, Big John should definitely have stopped the fight, given y'all time to recover from that, because that's how these things work. When you foul and the guy gets hurt from it, you're supposed to give time to recover, if I'm not mistaken. With the actual stoolgate itself, Romero himself, I don't find at fault, really at all. He was not told to stand up by Big John. He wasn't told to stand up by the commission. There was a stool there. He was sitting on it. No one tried taking it away from him. I don't think he did anything wrong. Between the corner, the commission, and Big John, I think there was a ton of miscommunication. Obviously, the person who was in the cage last spoke no English, apparently. Nobody spoke Spanish from the commission or Big John. They're yelling at this guy in English. He doesn't know what the hell they're saying. They sent him out, brought him back in. I think the people at fault are the commission at most, and Big John would be second. I think it's a clusterfuck. I think from now on, they need the best thing to do going forward is, if you're gonna have a corner who is from another country, make sure somebody who is there who can fucking speak their language so they can tell them what the fuck to do. Other than that, I don't think they're gonna do jack shit, and the decision's definitely not getting overturned. So no conflict.
Taylor, you've done some booking up on the subject. I'm gonna get my facts straight with you.
All right. I don't have the exact pages from the official fucking rule book or anything, so don't ask me. But I do know for a fact, A, it was 28 seconds. It's not 28. It's not 30. It's 28. That's how long you were sitting there extra. B, it is not John McCarthy's responsibility to clear the cage. It is the officials from the commission in the red fucking jackets that are in the corners. If the cage isn't cleared, it is on them. It's not on Big John McCarthy. It's not his fault. He's not a bad ref. It is the commission's responsibility, and they fucking failed. Officially, if a fighter can't get off the stool for the beginning of the round, it's a TKO. As soon as it hit 101, that's a TKO win for Tim Kennedy. Should it get overturned? Absolutely. That should be a TKO win for Tim Kennedy. It's not like I like the guy. I think he's a fucking dickhead. I can't stand listening to him talk. But he should have won that fight. If Yoel Romero can't get off his stool, his opponent wins the fight. People want to say it's just 30 seconds. 30 seconds is everything. When you're fucking out of your skull from getting, the shit kicked out of you for the last, 40 seconds of a round, that is a lot of time to recover. That should absolutely get overturned. Absolutely should be a win for Tim Kennedy. I'm sorry, Yoel Romero, you're fun to watch. You do grown man shit, but it's inexcusable, and it's a shame that MMA sucks so much that it's not going to get overturned.
Just a really quick question. The rule is if he can't get off, but he was never requested by either Big John or the commission to get off the stool. The second he was
exactly, and it's on the commission. Then that's, as I was saying, it's on the commission. I'm not saying it's Yoel Romero's fault.
So that's what I'm saying. When he was asked, he did stand up. So how could it be considered that it should be a TKO?
Because it wasn't cleared. It was a minute and 28 seconds, man. If you aren't off your stool, then it's on you.
But did he know that?
Yes, it's the commission's fault.
Okay.
But if you can't fight after a minute, it's done.
Okay.
I mean, it was clear what McCarthy wanted to be done. Even if you don't speak the language when the referee's screaming at your corner to get out, I mean, I'm pretty sure that somebody in that corner understood what was being said.
I mean, somebody in that corner had to have...
All right, hang on. Earl, what are your thoughts?
Somebody in the corner has been between rounds before. It's not like this is an entirely fucking foreign concept. And, absolutely this should be a TKO victory for Tim Kennedy. Like Taylor said, it's like, yeah, Yoel Romero's great. He's like a monstrous, well-rounded Paul Harris with the same amount of kooky shit that happens in his fight. It's amazing. Like, he just brings the weird. But, like, he definitely deserved to lose that fight. You're not up off your ass at 1 minute. That's a wrap for you, and that's the way it should have been. So Tim Kennedy absolutely should have a TKO victory in his record book for this. They won't overturn it. They absolutely should. Overturning it would admit fault on their part, so sure as shit, that ain't gonna happen. So it's just gonna be what it's gonna be, and it's a real drag for Kennedy because he could have really gone to like top elite status and got some really big matchups for himself, kind of towards in the twilight of his career, but. Instead, Yoel Romero got an extra half a minute when he was on Queer Street and was able to win the fight because of it.
All right. Josh?
I mean, the commission, they've pretty much made their position pretty clear when Bob Bennett said that, yeah, the administrative code states a fighter will get a TKO victory if they can't answer the bell, but it's unlikely the decision will be overturned. So... that's where that's going to end up. At the very least, though, this should be a no contest. I mean, that extra 28 seconds, that's all the time in the world. If you've ever been rocked hard, you know that sometimes an extra 5 seconds can make all the world of difference. And an extra almost 30 seconds, that changes everything. So I don't see how they can just let it stand, but they will because they just don't give a shit. But I feel like it was mishandled by pretty much everyone involved, aside from Kennedy and maybe Romero, who may have been legitimately confused because he was rocked. So him trying to figure out what's going on in a foreign language, I understand. I put that more on his corner than him. But if his corner impacts the fight to help him, that's a problem. So it's just bad all around. And a little more blame that hasn't been thrown out there that I didn't, or at least I didn't catch it, is to the UFC, because that's their cut man that put too much Vaseline on that started the whole incident. That's not his corner. That's actually a UFC personnel, because it doesn't come from the commission, and corners aren't allowed to do it after St. Pierre Penn too. So they have their part of the blame too. So the fact that this is going to stand as a win for Romero when everyone knows it wasn't is pretty solid. Good sign for MMA in general.
Yeah. I have nothing to add except, A, I've never seen any of those assholes in the red blazers do anything. Ever. And also, B, yes, this would be Nevada admitting that they were at least a little bit at fault, which is not going to happen, and also knowing their efficiency of late at things, filling out the paperwork would lead to them just accidentally burning down their office building and the entire city block. So I don't expect really anything to come of this major. Naomi?
So I had things to say and I completely forgot them. No. Basically, I think that this is completely handled wrong by his corner because his head got smashed. He was fucked up. His corner should know that they should be timing things. They should be watching out for these things because his corner basically tells him what to do. Without a good corner, you're pretty much fucked. So I think the issue is on his corner, and the whole Vaseline issue kind of confuses me, so I don't really want to say much about that. And I think if it's not going to be given as a TKO to Kennedy, it should at least be a rematch.
It won't.
I know it won't, but it should be.
I'm saying they won't even.
Then Dennis is asked for not doing anything, so whatever.
Breaking news, Marloes Conan to debut in Bellator.
I thought we were going to get the other breaking news. Kung Lee suspended 9 months after testing positive for HGH.
What a shock. The 42-year-old man was looking...
That's a retirement. Yepper.
Yep.
Taking the Stephen Bonner road out.
Gotta get that muscle somehow, boys.
Go back to being an eighth-rate Jet Li.
I can't really add much to what everyone else said. Everybody had their part in this. I'm honestly glad that it happened. In the sense that I want to see fighters take advantage of the incompetence of the commission. Not necessarily the referee in this case. He's not at the most fault, but I want to see that be taken advantage of in MMA because. In order for something to change, if it ever will, which is unlikely, this kind of stuff needs to happen. Fighters need to bend the rules and, test it. And it's just, I'm glad it happened, and it shows further the incompetence of the Nevada State Athletic Commission.
Yeah, I said what I have to say about this. It's fucking stupid.
You certainly did, and it's noted and on record. Dateline, Las Vegas, Nevada. Can't seem to leave the MGM as now the question poses, what is next for some of our victors and our losers? Namely, probably the next rational challenger for Demetrius Johnson. What's next for Donald Cerrone, and who's next for Conor McGregor? We already know that Cruz and Zingano have title fights lined up. And?
For Johnson, they're probably going to do the winner of the McCall-Lineker fight, especially if Lineker wins, because he's at least a fresh face that hasn't been shit kicked by Johnson yet.
I think he'd do very well.
If McCall wins, they'll probably give him the fight anyway. There's really no one else I can think of that is even close. For Cerrone, I know he wants another fight. I'm not sure who's available. If I were him, I would try and wait out a title shot, but I would really love to see a third match with Benson, actually. I know they don't like to do wins and losses. Benson's still top 5. You know, Cerrone's clearly on a roll. I want to see that fight. The first fight was amazing. The second fight was quick, but that's still amazing. For McGregor, if Aldo wins, they're shooing him right into a title shot. They want to give him one more fight. Wentz called him out. It's a very, he's a top 10 fighter. I think he's ranked number 8 or something like that.
He's at 9 now because McGregor jumped in the rankings.
So he's ranked below McGregor, but he's a grinding wrestler. But he's not super athletic. He's not nearly as much of a danger as someone like Frankie Edgar or Cub Swanson. I would say give him Lentz. Give him someone to, we could say he faced the grinding wrestler already, and he, performed well. I think that's the best way to go if he doesn't get the immediate title shot.
Earl?
Okay, so they want to keep McGregor as far away from a wrestler for as long as possible, and that's the game plan going forward with him, because they need to make whatever hay they think they're going to make while the sun is shining, especially since he's the biggest star in the company, Brock, GSP included. So, if Chad Mendes takes Jose Aldo out, or should I say when Chad Mendes takes Jose Aldo out, that will get them to pump the brakes severely on Conor, because they're not throwing him in there with Mendes, because Mendes is going to beat the dog shit out of him. So if Aldo wins, he's going to fight Aldo. If Mendes wins, he'll probably get the Lamas Bermudez winner, and that's a tough fight for him too, especially if Bermudez wins, because he's on a tear. As far as Demetrius goes, he's probably going to get the McCall Lineker winner. As much as like a trilogy fight between Creepy and DJ doesn't really do a lot for me. I mean, it's better than putting all their eggs in Lineker actually making weight for a fight, so that's not going to fucking happen. The other one is Donald Cerrone, and I would. I don't know. I think I saw he was cleared, but I would really like to see a Donald Cerrone TJ Grant matchup, like a lot.
I don't think he's been cleared yet.
Well, that's what I want to see, anyways.
Okay.
Good talk.
Fighter safety, y'all.
Josh?
Yeah, I mean, for DJ, it's pretty clear that they're going to do the Lineker McCall winner. And I mean, I think if McCall wins that, you can still sell that fight at least as well as anything, because he has a draw with him. So I mean, at least he's shown that he can be competitive with him, even though the rematch wasn't quite as much. For some reason, in the UFC's new rankings, Lineker actually dropped to 7 behind Ali Bagotinov this week, just in fun ranking stuff.
Fuck yeah.
But anyway. McGregor, I think you give him one more fight before a title fight, and I think it's the winner of Bermudez and Lamas, as I said earlier. I'm pretty sure that gives you your wrestler test no matter who wins it, and both those guys have done it enough to where it's not like he's jumped a mile ahead of them in line by any means. So featherweight's too good right now.
Yeah, the McCall-Lineker fight, unfortunately, especially unfortunately if it ends up being Ian McCall, because he's the worst. As far as McGregor goes, if they want to give him another fight, they could do, although I don't think...
Can I book Cerrone?
Oh, it'd be wonderful.
I mean,
I don't think Lamas gets a title shot, even if you... I think if Bermudez... I think if Bermudez beats Lamas, then Bermudez is not enough for a title shot. But yeah. Otherwise, yeah. Also, I know he's hurt, right? I know he's hurt, but Zombie's still lingering out there somewhere. Maybe by the time he's back. And also for Cerrone, yeah. I mean, he's gonna want to fight. He's gonna want to keep active. Maybe the eventual, but there's really not a whole lot on the horizon right now, unless he wants to get like the Diaz Dos Anjos winner in December. Nolan?
as far as McGregor, I think the UFC is going to jettison him into a title shot, and fine, I guess. He's at least marketable, which is something you can't say for many at that weight. So, whatever. As far as Cerrone, I don't really see much on the horizon for him. I mean, how much longer is Nurmagomedov out?
I think it's,
Don't know.
I think it's pretty. Isn't it kind of serious or kind of?
It's like spring, I think, is what they're looking at.
Maybe Bobby Green will fight Cerrone on like 2 days' notice.
His other brother just got shot, so I think he's.
Yeah, just. Yeah. You can't really risk like a fight against like Josh Thompson per se, so it really hard to say. Mighty Mouse, I got to go with the Lineker-McCall winner, so he'll be fighting John Lineker in his next title
In his
fight.
next non-title catchweight bout at 128 pounds.
125 on the dot.
Josh, how would you book Donald Cerrone next?
Whoa,
I don't know. Didn't know that was a topic we were discussing. No, I really want to see him fight Khabib. If he can be healthy in time where that can happen, that fight just can be nothing but great. But I mean, if not, then you got to just give him somebody down the ladder that he's going to look good against. I mean, you could also do something like give him a Masvidal. I'd actually be fine with that. He wants to stay busy. That's a good quality opponent to do it against. Stay right in line for title shot.
Taylor?
Yeah, as far as Demetrius goes, no-brainer. Lineker McCall winner. I look forward to seeing Ian McCall looking just fabulous in his, because, he came from the fashion industry, you guys. His girlfriend's a model and he used to. For McGregor, I know it's a long way off, and I don't know how active they want to keep McGregor, but I don't think they're going to push him to a title shot right now, but I would kill to see him against the winner of Edgar and Cub. Because you can say that they're both strikers, but boy, Luke, I never thought I would say that I would be on your team, but boy, would I enjoy see Frankie Edgar mauling Conor McGregor. That would be super. I think, would you say that you would drown in your own semen if you didn't open the door of your house during that?
At the very least, I'd be fighting to stay above water.
Yeah, you kind of have your nose pushed against the ceiling trying to struggle for air.
I'd fall in a semen vat like...
What we're saying is it'd be a mess, folks.
Be like a Terminator.
As far as Cowboy goes, I actually didn't know until Josh just said it just now that Bobby Green's other brother got shot. So if he comes out, boy, Donald Cerrone and Edson Barboza, that would be okay. I would be okay. I would be very. Why not?
3 fights ago.
Yeah, but it'd be fun. It was fun the first time. It'd be fun the second time. Cerrone is going to be down.
It was at the end of April.
Are you
Run it back, man. Run it back.
Are you guys actually? I would love seeing it again. I love that.
He'll tap him out in the first round again in about no time.
It was in the second round, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, I thought it was second round.
No.
Still, don't give a shit. Want to see it again? Because really, other than that, what is there for Cowboy that he hasn't done other than Nurmagomedov? Loser of Pettis Melendez. That's like
he's not.
Cerrone's not waiting for that. Like, who's RDA fighting next again? I'm losing my mind.
Who?
Nate Diaz.
Yeah,
Dos
winner of that
Anjos.
fight, but he's not waiting for that. Miles Jury? Miles Jury'd be good.
Yeah, there
That's
you
really the
go.
only other option, isn't it? Unless you want to give him, like, Hobby Love. I don't think Hobby Love's scheduled.
I don't believe yet. All right,
Yeah,
lastly,
that'd be fun, though.
let's take a look ahead at the 2 UFC cards going on this Saturday. We'll just do the main and the co-main from each one here. We'll go left to right, rapid fire. Give me a winner and a method via victory. On UFC Fight Pass from the Ericsson Global Arena in Stockholm, Sweden, and the co-main event of the evening in the featherweight division, Akira Kurosani against Max Holloway.
I got Holloway by TKO round 2.
Holloway UD.
Holloway, second round submission.
Noel.
Holloway, UD.
Holloway UD.
Yeah, Holloway's gonna work that ass. First round TKO.
Yeah, Carson has never lost by anything other than TKO.
I know, but
Yeah,
Holloway's not a particularly hard puncher, so I think he's going to rock
He's a
him.
volume
Somebody's
striker,
guy.
man.
Didn't he finish Cruikshank?
I believe.
In the main event of the afternoon, in the welterweight division, Gunnar Nelson takes on Rick Story.
Nelson sub round 2 or 3.
Nelson submission round 1.
Yeah, within the first 3 rounds, Nelson will have him wrapped up by submission.
Naomi?
Nelson submission.
How did I skip myself again? Nelson, round 2 submission.
I'll go Nelson, third round submission.
As much as people love to let Gunnar Nelson dip his jiu-jitsu balls into their mouth, the only time Rick Story's ever been submitted is Demian Maia, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Gunnar Nelson is not Demian Maia.
He's not that far off, though.
Yeah, he really isn't. He's a
pretty.
phenomenon in jiu-jitsu.
Who's the best? Seriously, who's the best person Gunnar Nelson's ever fought? His record is weak as hell. Like Zach Cummings, Jorge Santiago, probably. Rick Story, UD.
In the second card of the day, live from the Scotiabank Center in Halifax, Nova Scotia, in the co-main event of the evening in the bantamweight division, Brian Caraway takes on Rafael Assunção.
Oh, Assunção's gonna absolutely just dominate him to a unanimous decision.
Assunção, a unanimous decision.
I have a terrible feeling that Caraway's going to win a decision here.
You dickhead.
Nope.
It's not a good feeling.
Assunção UD.
It's an incorrect feeling.
Thank you, Ben.
You're welcome.
I actually agree with Josh here. Caraway's style is just ugly, and I feel like he's going to eke it out by unanimous decision.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle of the two. I think Assunção's a healthy favorite, but I think that Caraway's one of the more active dogs on the weekend. It's hard to pick against Mr. Tate. Follow me at MMA Roasted, but Rafael Assunção, unanimous decision.
And in the main event of the evening and also the day, in the welterweight division, Rory McDonald takes on Tarek Safadine.
This fight's gonna be awesome. As of now, I would say Rory by UD, but that may change.
I'm gonna go with on a wing and a prayer, Safadine UD.
So that's a poor pick.
I'm thinking this is actually going to be a really, really close decision. I'm going to take Safadine by split decision.
I, too, am going Safadine by split decision.
Jesus Christ.
I'll go Rory McDonald, third round TKO.
Oh!
I don't understand you people. Rory McDonald is the second best welterweight in the world. He's a first round knockout.
Behind Carlos Condit.
The second best welterweight in the world behind Johnny Hendricks and Robbie Lawler.
I don't think you understand how numbers work.
Welterweight of the night.
Alrighty, that will do it for us this evening. Visit us at undercardsuperstar.com. Follow me and all of us at UndercardSuper. Have yourself a lovely evening. We'll see you back here 1 week, every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go Buccos.
Go San Fran.
You would. Eat shit.
Teams.
O's.